This is a B6 revision video on mitosis and meiosis. Now mitosis is in B1, but meiosis is B6, and they can ask you to compare them. So, to start with, you may have seen these diagrams before. Okay, so this one here is mitosis. Now meiosis is identical to mitosis up to a point. So to start with, we have a parent cell. Now in humans, this parent cell will have 46 chromosomes to start with. So that's a parent cell, it's got 46 chromosomes. Those chromosomes will then double in number, okay? So the actual cell itself should get larger. So they will double in number. They will then line up along the centre of that cell. They will then be pulled to opposite poles, which here is where the nuclear membrane divides, and you should have an identical or two identical daughter cells to the parent cell. Okay, so that's the process of mitosis. The parent cell chromosomes double, they line up along the centre, they will rip to either side, be pulled apart to opposite poles, and will then fuse back together. Those two chromosomes will come back together and make two identical daughter cells. Now in meiosis, the exact same thing happens. So we've started off with a parent cell. The chromosomes have doubled. They will line up along the centre. They'll be pulled to opposite poles of that nuclei. They will then rejoin and make two identical daughter cells. Now this is where meiosis is important, because it doesn't stop there for meiosis. We've got this extra stage, this extra division of cells. So half of the genetic information from this cell will go into the first one. Half of the genetic information will go into the second, and half of the genetic information from this one will go into the third, and half into that one. So in total, there will be 23 chromosomes in each one of these nuclei. Now the reason for that is these nuclei here will either form an egg cell if you're female, or will form sperm cells if you're male. So they will make 4 egg cells or 4 sperm cells. So that's the process. Now you may be asked to compare when you would carry out mitosis or when you would carry out meiosis, or you may just be asked about one process or the other. So where do these happen? Well, mitosis can happen all over the body except for in your reproductive organs. Whereas meiosis does happen in your reproductive organs. It can happen in your testes or in your ovaries. Why do we have mitosis? We have it for growth, repair, and replace. So growth from a child to an adult, they will make identical cells, so your skin gets bigger. They need to make identical skin cells. To repair, in case you cut yourself or damage part of your body, they'll repair those cells or replace faulty cells. Meiosis, as we've just said, makes gametes. Okay, now we need gametes for sexual reproduction, so we can pass on our genetic, or 50% of our genetic information. Now, looking at the process that we've just looked at, mitosis only divides once. However, meiosis divides once and then will divide again. So mitosis has 1 division compared to meiosis, which has 2 divisions. Looking at the process again, mitosis has 2 identical daughter cells. Meiosis has 4 unidentical daughter cells. So 2 identical, 4 unidentical. Identical? Yes. No. I've put here Lloyd. Okay, that's the suffix. Okay, mitosis, because it has the full number of chromosomes in the daughter cells as it has in the parent cells. Okay, those cells here are known as diploid. They've got the full number of chromosomes. But because with meiosis, this has half the number of chromosomes that the parent cell had, okay, we would call that haploid, half. Okay, so here I'm going to write diploid and haploid. This has got half the number of chromosomes that the parent cell has, and these have got the full number of chromosomes. The last thing that I've put on here is reproduction. Mitosis is involved in asexual reproduction, which bacteria do, so they can make identical offspring. Potatoes and strawberries also do this. And meiosis is involved in sexual reproduction because they make sperm and eggs. Those sperm and eggs have to fuse, and that will restore the total number of chromosomes needed. Okay, and that is mitosis and meiosis summarised.